See, I've been waiting. Waiting on that time. Feel me if you've been waiting on yours. That moment, it's close. It's close.
Adam here from Kinetic Performance. It's my pleasure actually to be here with a friend of mine, Perry Nickelston, who is the founder and owner of Stop Chasing Pain. We're here at the Philex conference in Sydney, Australia. Yeah, there you go. So thanks a lot for doing this.
Thanks,
for sitting and chilling.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I wanted to start off because I know you did a session today all about the glutes, and the glutes is like, if you look at anybody who comes into any gym, whether it's high level athletics, rehab, anything, glutes aren't firing properly, they're not working. Mm-hmm. What's going on? How important are they?
Well, they're pretty important, because first of all, they're sweet to look at, but they're the largest muscle in your body, right? Yeah. And they're the power generators of thrusting. And then, so think about when you might need a thrust, right? To do like a deadlift, to come up and thrust up, or a squats type movement. But also, especially when you run or do explosive movements, and if you climb, right? Which we unfortunately don't do a lot of. Yeah. And I found it fascinating of why do glutes shut off, for instance, right? Because they obviously work, otherwise you wouldn't be able to move. Yeah. They're just not working efficiently. So a big part of it is because you sit on your ass all day long, right? Yeah. And then, but people know to do like glute activation drills. Yeah. But what I found was very interesting when I started to look at the body and I started to look at neurology and just start to think to myself, okay, well, why are some of the stuff that we're doing temporarily helping? Yeah. And the conclusion that I came to from looking at neuroscience and the body was that all the movements, although effective, are too much for the nervous system to make a change. Okay. They're what we call in the training work high threshold movements, right? Yeah. Like it's just, they're cool, but if you have this neural capability of here, and I give you, say, a loaded hip thrust, the ones where you can see the hip thruster and their back is on the bench, they put the bar across here and they pop up, that's a cool move. Yeah. But you're really not activating your glutes as more as using everything else along the back chain. Yeah. So this edge right here is the determining edge of whether your brain will allow you to learn a new, more efficient pattern or fall back on an old dysfunctional one. Okay. And then if you go too hard, too fast, too soon, the brain always takes the path of least resistance and it goes to the area where it feels safest. So it goes up to what it's always known, which is the bad pattern. Yeah. So your bad pattern has become your normal pattern. Yeah. If I want to make a change in that, you have to go a lot easier. Yeah. And the reason I see that most people don't like to do it is because they feel they have to go hard. Yeah. It's very, very easy to go hard. Yeah. And sometimes that's what people want you to do. Yeah. But it's very, very hard to go easy. Yeah. And that's what you need. So if you go low threshold, you'll find that the nervous system will now grant you access to your gluteus. Okay. And then it will end up sticking better. Yeah. Because I'm not interested, honestly, in doing anything that doesn't stick. Yeah. If it doesn't stick, then it's been zero benefit to your body to have any carryover. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So my mission actually is to teach people to be nicer to your body and to be nicer to your butt when you're doing some of these activation drills. Yeah. Right? So if a lot of the stuff that we do with our deadlifts and all the stuff that's going to activate our squats, you mentioned the thrusters. So how would a personal trainer go out and figure out how to grade? Like how would we build up from the bottom and work our way up to those? Well, I want the trainers to assume that anybody you come across doesn't have a butt that works well. Okay. They're not efficient. Yeah. And just because they look really sweet doesn't mean they can actually perform efficiently when you need them. Yeah. Right? I mean, that's the show car on the floor. Yeah. That won't start. Yeah. Right? I need to know what's underneath the hood. Okay. Because I've got a lot of people that their ass ain't much to look at, but man, it engages quite nice. Yeah. It's just because they don't go hard style training. Yeah. But for me, it's always about, you can do those moves, but it's like fundamentals, right? So when you're going to bring somebody into your training, you do fundamental assessments on things, right? They call it the ABCs of what you're doing. So for me, I have everybody do these glute activation drills that I was showing you before they do all the other ones. And it's really easy one. I'll tell it to you if you want.
Yeah.
It's really simple. So I have people go down to the ground and you lie on your back first. And then I ask you and I say, I would like for you to consciously squeeze one cheek, let's say the right cheek. And your right butt cheek should engage before you feel your quad engage or your rectus abdominis muscle here.
Okay.
If these or this goes first, that means you don't have good communication with your glute.
Okay.
And if you can't make that fire thinking about it, what do you think is going to happen when you load it up?
Yeah.
You're going to go to anything else. And then I'll say, okay, do the same thing with your left butt cheek. So this should be the first assessment you do on your client.
Yeah.
And then see, can you feel a difference from left to right? The easiest way for people to pass that is when they're on their back, because the ground touches the butt and you have proprioceptive feedback.
Yeah.
That's number one. Then you can turn them on their stomach. When you turn them on their stomach, then you have them do the same move. Most people fail it.
Yeah.
Even high-end athletes fail it. Because then you lose the sense of the ground against the butt, and it goes against the quad. And then I say squeeze your glute and don't move your quad or your abs first. 9 times out of 10, one of the other two goes first.
Yeah.
And then I'll say do the left side. And you may have both sides struggle or one side struggle.
Yeah.
So what we do is we just have you concentrate on those levels. So if you can't do it face down, then I regress you back to face up until you become more efficient at it, and then we turn you over. And then think about it logically, right? If you can't do that with nothing touching your butt, what I usually do is I just put like a small little plate on each butt cheek.
Okay.
And then, unless you want to touch their butt like that, right? But that may be a little creepy. And then you squeeze it, make the plate move.
Yeah.
And then it does a lot of stuff. And then what you'll find is if you do that drill, you'll have massive, more functional carryover to your thrust.
Yeah.
Because I mentioned in one of my workshops is that when they do EMG studies to see how much a muscle engages, they did it on the bicep, that if they had somebody consciously think about the bicep and the bicep contracting, right, and engaging more, that the mere thought of that during the movement, you got more EMG output, electrical signal input from your nervous system to your bicep than if they just did the bicep curl.
Yeah.
And bodybuilders have known that for years.
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger could tell you that. I mean, like he concentrated on his calves 24/7, like envisioning them getting bigger.
Yeah.
And that's what he does.
Yeah.
Right? And then so that's that mind-body connection.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing I'm trying to get to the industry is that you don't have to do the hard style stuff.
Yeah.
That should be for your training. But for your activations and your correctives, they need to be a lot more low threshold, less neural chaos.
Yeah.
Because your nervous system goes into panic mode very fast.
Yeah.
Because we're all high strung anyway, right? Right? This. And then you only have to do that like a couple of rounds. You don't have to spend 30 minutes doing it because everybody's going to be bored, right?
Yeah.
But they'll actually be pretty frustrated. But you also do it seated. So, I mean, people, watching this, you can do it. Like I tell people at work to sit in a chair, and then when you're at your desk, and then you put your hands on your thigh, and I want you to squeeze your right butt cheek, and don't have your quad go first. And then squeeze your left butt cheek, and don't have your quad go first, or your abs. So what you may notice is some people may go here, and then move the glute.
Okay.
Or some people may here, like for me, if I squeeze my left goes. If I squeeze my right, see how my quad wants to go a little bit? This one, hardly anything. This one goes first. So that's a little bit of a disconnect. And you can feel it move up underneath. That's a great drill to do, sitting here like this.
Yeah.
I call it musical ass, right? Just kind of go back and forth. But you should relax here. And what I mean by abs is that the deeper muscles here should already be on.
Yeah.
I'm talking about you shouldn't have to squeeze your abdominals to move your glute.
Yeah.
The deeper muscles should already be there without you knowing that they just turned on.
Yeah.
Then you're efficient.
Yeah.
Right? That's what you work towards.
Yeah.